Namaste. Today I want to talk about names, and I'm going to talk about my own name, why we have names, even touch on a little bit about words, and it's our only thing that we can use. That we have to put words around the concept. Remember, though, that words are not the concept itself. It's just the perimeters. Okay, and go way back. And naming things, the fixing of names is the foundation for the Maya, the illusion. Okay? Fixing of names is without names. We can't create any illusion of ego. And this is how we share the human experience. We share ego to ego. For 99.9% of the people, it's ego because people identify with their ego. That's who and what they are and why they are, and it's the mind and the thoughts and the emotions and the outside input. It's so-called experiential. It's what you experience, how people react to you. And the last time I read that, I'm going to touch on it again, scroll down here, and just remind you, a different version of you exists in the mind of everyone that has ever met you and is very different than that what you think about yourself. Even the person that you think of as yourself does not exist outside of your mind. That's where this person is. In existence. And again, this is Maya, this is the illusion. So, I wanted to talk about names, and let's talk about my own. Hi, Young. Ocean of awareness is what my name truly tries to encapsulate. And it's a constant reminder. Anyone calls me Hai Yang, and I prefer that name over my given name any day of the week, my Chinese name. And many people call me that, and some people are reluctant to call me that, but just as if anybody that, somehow we're supposed to be stuck with the name that the parents gave you, and who knows the thinking? Who knows the thinking and what comes for the baggage that comes with the name? All I know is how important a name is. And when I name something, I give it a lot of consideration. But again, it makes it so that we can talk about it in the Maya, the framework of illusion. Just because the world is not real, the world of the senses, the world of the thinking, the world of the feeling, is not real, doesn't mean that you don't have to interact as if it's real. You still have to take care of you still need enough ego while recognizing that the ego is an illusion and the ego is the not self, and you fully embrace the only reality, which is the all-encompassing, all-inclusive concept of self. Self in the greater sense, collective, self in the Atman, the inner self, is made of exactly the same substances, exactly the same essence as the greater self, the ocean of awareness. Just as a wave on the ocean is no different than the ocean, or a drop that comes from the ocean as it splashes up against the hull of a boat, a rock, whatever, and the drop comes up before it. But in any stage of that drop, if you could stop it and analyze it, it absolutely has no difference than the Mother Ocean, than the ocean of awareness. This is a bit of awareness, but it's exactly the same. Same too as we have the Atman, our interior self with the big S. And Brahman, or God, or bliss, or ultimate, or infinity, which is all-encompassing, never born, never dies. So names, how did I get this name, Hai Young? Well, it was given to me many, many years ago, more than 20 years ago, when a little bit of the Hai is, for Chinese, would mean ocean, Hai. And because my family name is Hayes, people say, oh, Hai and Hayes. And because I always loved the ocean, and I guess my presence evoked the ocean in the very beginning of when I was teaching adults, professional adults, who gave me my name. And the young has grown to be a breeze across the ocean, a breeze across the surface, and it's kind of morphed into the closer meaning of awareness. So ocean of awareness is my name. And some of the names help us with concepts. One of my favorite concepts is the green, red, and gold Buddha, the different Trikaya, the three Buddha, Sat, Chit, Ananda. Awareness of the truth, the green. When you first have your awakening experience, you first wake up, you are aware of the truth. The ego dies. And then the red Buddha is, as you mature in your Buddhahood, you're born as an infant Buddha in the green, just awareness of truth, but infant in the sense of not knowing anything and literally having to learn just as you did when you were an infant, a baby in the physical form. In the Buddha form, my experiences in a Buddha year is 6 years to 1 year. Again, these are all words, names, okay? You become the red Buddha, the consciousness, and this is when you're fully mature in your understanding of the consciousness. And if it's on your trajectory, if it's in your karma, if it's in your destiny, you might start teaching at this stage. Green Buddha is a little immature, has to mature. You can share experiences, the awakening experience, which permitted, allowed, enhanced, encouraged the awakening, the first awakening. And the second, the red Buddha, is consciousness, understanding pure consciousness, the essence. That's all we are, unborn, undying. And then the golden Buddha is when my aura became gold. I guess it's been last year, July, I think. I should have a ceremony when my aura became golden, and Sakyamuni, Gautama, Siddhartha, the Buddha himself, came into my body to dwell in my body. And remember, it's not, I don't have any exclusivity. He can come into all of your bodies. He will eventually come into all of your bodies. So it's not any kind of ownership. So again, this is all names. So Sat, Chit, Ananda is the Trikaya, the three Buddhas. I mentioned yesterday, I keep, I pass, I return, talking about life. So other Sat, awareness or being. Consciousness, Chit, infinity, Ananda or bliss. This is Sat, Chit, Ananda is straight from Sanskrit, and I've adapted some. I've actually been learning. So other concepts that have to do with names. Here's a reminder. Ramana Maharishi said, "You are peace." To get rid of the idea that you're not peace is all that's required. Yes. And here's another little explanation. You are the eternal I am, dressed up as matter. Okay? Now, we get ourselves in a tangle, we get ourselves all. We have an illusory self, and having an illusory self is very useful for many reasons, not least of which is that you can designate it in using language. Illusory means the same thing as constructed by mind. You have constructed this self out of thoughts, emotions, and experience. And we do this so we can communicate, okay? And that's why the move from the red Buddha of consciousness to the golden Buddha of bliss, infinity. In between, you can talk about being and awareness. You can talk about consciousness, but when it comes to infinity and bliss, words fail. So the words, names can take us through the first two Buddhas. And with the introduction of consciousness and awareness, words begin to fail. And this is why they talk about the silent teachings, the secret teachings, so-called secret teachings. Because these teachings, as my teacher taught me, teaching that up to a certain level, after certain words fail, and there's this heart-to-heart transmission, this heart-to-heart sharing. And this is how you learn. So in between, somewhere, for me, before the green Buddha, before the first inkling of awareness, my teacher and I had parted ways. And this is how it should be. He takes you to the cliff,